Hello everyone, Pallytime here. Welcome back to my free time series. We are back in Diablo 3 today, and we are going to be attempting the highest grade of rift that I've ever done. We have a 42. I almost said an 82 here. That's a little bit higher. We have a 42 here. My goal for this series was to hit 40. And unfortunately, I did hit that, but the video file was corrupted, as I mentioned in the last video. So, what I'm going to do, there's going to be a timestamp on the screen. If you don't want to hear the explanation of my build, you can go ahead and skip to that, and that is where the run is going to start. Now, for those of you that haven't seen this series before, this is my Season 3 wizard. He is focused on dealing damage in melee range, mainly using his arc lightning on electrocute to do that. Now, as far as our gear goes, we have the Tall Rasha's 6 piece. There are 7 potential pieces, and we have 6 of them. This is going to make it so when we deal damage with an element, it's going to drop a meteor of that element. So we deal electricity damage, and electricity meteor falls. And it's really, really good for dealing AoE damage. On top of that, every time we hit with an element, it's increasing our resistances to that element by 100% for 6 seconds. And then, I can't really show you, well, I guess I can show you. We have this little buff at the bottom. This is increasing our damage with the elements for each element that we cast. And so, with this build, basically the idea is we're cycling through all of our elements in order to deal the most damage we can, and in order to generate these buffs, and really just take our damage to the next level. As far as defensive things go, armor I guess we could call it, this weird thing that we wear on our body, we are using the Firebird's 2-piece. This is going to basically allow us to die, and then instead of dying, a giant meteor falls down and hopefully kills everything in the area for us. That's on a 300-second cooldown. Our primary weapon is the Serpent's Sparker. This is going to allow me to have 2 Hydras out, which is very, very important for our build, which I'll continue to explain. And then our boots are quite simply just an increase to meteor damage. These are Nilfer's Boast. Again, we cast meteors with all kinds of different elements, and this increases the damage of those meteors. To help in our defensive stats, we are going with the Ancient Paragon Defenders. Enemies stunned within 25 yards. It reduces the damage we take by 11%, which is it's a decent roll on that. So essentially, my one ability stuns and my right-click stuns. So, well, I guess you could consider this a stun. So, the idea is this is helping us stay alive, and trust me, we need the help. And last but not least, we do have our 2 set for rings, focus, and restraint. Basically, the 2 set piece. When you hit with the resource generating attack, you deal 50% increased damage for 5 seconds. When you hit with the resource spending attack, you deal 50% damage for 5 seconds. So, if we hit with a generator, we get a damage increase. If we hit with a spender, we get a damage increase. And that is really, really strong. We're going to be trying to keep that buff going throughout the Greater Rift run. Now, our abilities, our left click, electrocute with arc lightning. This is our melee spell that we are using on our wizard. We get up close and dirty and try to deal as much damage as possible. We have Blizzard with frozen solid. This allows us to throw a blizzard out. This is where we're getting our ice damage, and this has a chance of 100% chance, excuse me, to be frozen for 2.5 seconds. Why is there even a 100% there? I was reading that as I was putting this build back together, and I just glanced at it because I was using a different build for farming, and I was like, well, it only has a chance to freeze things. That kind of sucks, but it's a 100% chance. Teleport with Calamity. This allows us to get our arcane damage out on the floor. Whenever we teleport, we are going to do a small AoE in the area that will stun targets and also deal arcane damage. And one of the most important spells in our whole arsenal, Hydra with the Mammoth Rune. This is going to allow us to put down these bad boys. They will deal a ton of damage to the area. They'll basically blanket a room in flames, and it's really, really good. This is where the majority of our damage is coming from. We are buffing that with several abilities, first of which, Magic Weapon. We imbue our weapon to increase our damage by 20%. So we go from, can I turn it off? We go from 856 damage on our character sheet to 1,028,000 damage on our character sheet. And on top of that, our passive Arcane Dynamo allows us to deal an additional 60% damage on a spell once we stack up 5 stacks of Insight, which is this pink buff you can see at the bottom. So we cast 5 times, we drop a Hydra, we cast 5 times, we drop a Hydra, and the idea is that these guys are going to be doing 60% more damage than normal. But we are still buffing that further. Now, with the Enforcer Greater Gem, this has just been recently added to my arsenal, we are increasing the pet's damage yet again by 23.10%. Really, really strong. My other Greater Gems, before I forget, Bane of the Powerful and Bane of the Trapped. Energy Armor is here for defensive purposes. We have the Force Armor Rune, which allows incoming attacks that would deal more than 35% of our maximum health to only deal 35% of our maximum health, which is really, really good. We are using Blur on top of that, which reduces our damage taken by 17%, and then Unstable Anomaly, which when we die, we don't die, we just kind of push everyone back. So essentially with this build, we have 2 different cheat deaths to help us stay alive. Elemental Exposure is our last talent, and this kind of goes along with the set piece of our Talrashas. When we do damage for an elemental type, we then increase our damage by 5%, and each of the elemental types stack. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's a 20% damage increase. It's really, really good. So without further ado, let us jump into a Greater Rift. This is a Greater Rift Keystone 42. As I said, my goal was 40, which we did accomplish. I just can't prove it to you. I guess I can. We could look at my leaderboards. So we're going to be pushing hard. We're going to be going into a 42. This is probably going to be too much damage for me to deal with, but I'm still going to try. We're still going to give this our best shot. I already like the layout. Hopefully we don't get surrounded too early. I do need to stack up this stuff. Do need to get that going. Already taking a ton of damage though. Let's fall back to our Hydras, try to get some of these health globes. My Paragon points have changed a little bit too. In offensive, I am doing crit damage, and then everything else I have has gone into attack speed. The idea being I would be able to stack up these Hydras much faster than otherwise. Like, if I'm going for crit damage, yes, it does do a lot of damage, but I need to be constantly moving these Hydras up with me and constantly taking advantage of Arcane Dynamo. So that's basically the goal with that, just trying to always be on the offensive with these mammoths. They are a great ability. They do allow you to set up traps for your enemies, but right now I couldn't put one down because I didn't have 5 stacks. So the idea, we always want to have those 5 stacks. We always want to keep them moving with us. Now, as far as the Greater Rift timer, we are keeping up with it. Time will tell once we find a pack whether or not, you know, this is actually feasible for us to do. I hope with the addition of our new Greater Gems, we're going to be okay. Alright, we have a first yellow. I haven't seen what it is yet. We see walls. Okay. Just going to keep stacking the dynamo. Just going to peace out over here. Our little Templar buddy should be tanking the majority of this. And I'm just going to keep freezing. It looks like they have some teleporting affects, so they're illusions. We have our first and second death all back to back. So let's jump in. Let's try to freeze and get a Hydra down right here. We did not have 5 stacks for that, and we are going to take our first death on our first elite pack. That's not a very good sign. Not a very good sign at all. Look at all these illusions. That's crazy. We got a rebuff. I hope I was buffed before. I think I was. And then we will try to lay down as much fire in this hallway as possible. Pretty important that I line of sight here with so many of these guys doing instantaneous damage. We don't want to be taking that damage. And right now I'm really not expecting to hit much with my auto attacks. They are mostly just there for the Arcane Dynamo stacks. There we go. Boss has been taken down, and we are still even with the timer. We're going to have to really push hard if we want to complete this. I mean, as far as killing stuff goes, one of the problems I've always had with my wizard is burst damage. And it seems like when we're trying to make these types of, like, progression Greater Rift videos, it seems like I always run into a lot of things that can do instantaneous damage to me that I can't dodge. For instance, these guys with the tongues, basically they just latch onto me with their tongue, and all of a sudden a large portion of my health is missing. The only way I can mitigate that is by making sure that my Templar is the first thing that these guys see, and make sure my Templar is the first thing these guys attack. I did pick up a Power Shrine, and unfortunately we do find a Reflect damage pack here. I'm just going to try to throw the Hydras down, get out of this frozen effect, and hopefully This will be the boost I need to get through this. I'm really counting on my Hydras to do enough damage to this guy, though. I think this is an illusion here. That's my second death. I'm going to die very soon. And unfortunately, the frozen on the ground was enough to take me down. That being said, there was also a blue pack thrown in there, so I don't feel that bad about that. We need to back it up a little bit. We want to fight these guys in the doorway. So let's get their attention. There we go. Let's get our 5 stacks. Put a Hydra down here. Back it up, back it up, back it up. Get our 5 stacks. Put another Hydra down, and then just start throwing blizzards out. And that's really the best setup we can hope for. We have killed the yellow. Oh god, let's blink out of that. The frozen looks like it was coming from the blue pack here. But they walked right into the Hydras. That is not what they wanted to do. And just like that, we are ahead of the timer, using the terrain to our advantage. What you know about that? Whoa! I was just about to say I think the density's dying off a little bit. Oh my god. And then I walked into that room and you saw how fast I just got melted. Oh, that's not even cool. And once again, damage that I cannot mitigate and actually counters my force armor pretty hard is coming from those ghosts. They do this channeling effect on top of me. And that's going to make it so they slowly drain my health. Remember, force armor mitigates against burst damage. So slowly draining my health is something that's pretty hard to deal with. I think I just have to blink away from it. I think I have to use that teleport. These guys should still be doing damage. I see them casting. Usually I just peek my head in and I start to get bursted down. I really have to stay back here. And unfortunately this timer once again catching back up to me. This is really going to be close. Whoa, 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 whoa. Alright, freeze the doorway. Get the Hydras down. God, this damage sucks. Gonna die here for sure. I mean, we're not really having issues killing the trash. We're having issues with the trash killing me. We do know that there's stuff on the other side of this door, so I'm gonna get my dynamo stacks ready first. And then freeze on the door. That's gonna lock everyone in one spot and allow the Templar to get in there. That worked really well. It looks like we have found a blue pack in here as well. And I have no idea what the blue pack does, other than desecration or whatever this is. I can't remember the name of it right now. It's been too long since I played this game. Alright, let's blink in, just to get that arcane meteor, get that damage boost. It looks like they do reflect damage. But fortunately, because... Ouch, ouch, ouch. Because of the Hydras, we usually don't have to worry about damage reflection. We're usually pretty safe from that. I really can't tell how fast these guys are dying, though. I'm gonna try to freeze them. We just used my potion again, so that's gonna be on cooldown for another 30 seconds. And we kill the blue pack. Beautiful. Making good progress now. If it wasn't for these stupid instant damage tongue leapers, we'd be fine. We have a speed pylon here. I don't know how much use I'm actually going to be able to make out of this, though. We do have a little choke point here that I can try to fight these guys in. Let's go ahead and use our blink just to get that damage multiplier as well. I think if this build has one weakness, it's just my defense is so low. Oh, and I forced myself to fight in melee range, right? That was my stipulation. There goes our second death. I have a really hard time landing the arcane portion of this rotation, simply because I do have to put myself in harm's way like that. Now, when we have little doorways and choke points like this where I can use the Templar to tank in the area and then just kind of poke in and then peace out, it's not as bad. So I think I am getting really lucky with this particular rift setup. I'm going to try to freeze these guys in the doorway. I don't want them chasing me too far. Try to take these guys down right away. And we do just that. Beautiful. Making really, really, really good time. This may come down to which boss we get at the end. And, oh god, get out of that. And, I'm hoping we get a good one. I mean, there are bosses in this game that have like a fourth of the health that others do. I hope we get a good one. Oh, we do have a blue pack here. I already used my potion. I do have an unstable anomaly ready to go. Alright. Oh no, this isn't looking good for me. Gonna try to freeze several times. I need another Hydra. This is why I wanted attack speed, so I can move the Arcane Dynamo Hydras very, very often. We are going to have a 14-second respawn timer. We have 4 minutes left in this rift. Now, when we kill this blue pack, we are going to get a significant boost in our progression. We are going to have to kill a little bit more after this, though. It's going to be really, really close. I do think we are pushing the limits of what my character can do right now. I really do think we are. Let's just throw out a normal Hydra, then a Dynamo, move out of that, charge another Dynamo, and throw that out. Now, these guys do go invisible, so my normal strategy of using the Templar to tank was a little difficult there, because when they go invisible, the Templar resets onto me. But we got through it. We stunned them with our teleport, with our blink, and it turned out just fine, so good. Very good. I think we may be going to another level soon, which is not good, because usually the density dies off when you're getting close to the end of an area. These stupid ghosts, they kill me so fast. Oh, they're killing me again. I have to blink into them, I have to stun them. I don't know what else to do, I can't run away from them. It looked like that actually worked pretty well. Of course, then we don't have any way to get away from these, like, stupid tongue minions. Getting very close on the timer. I'm gonna have to push hard. That was my second death. We're probably gonna die on the boss. But when we do die... Oh, we got a blue pack here, we got a blue pack here. They're frozen, I don't know what else, so we're gonna use my teleport to get away from the frozen particles on the ground. I'm just trying to stare at my character's feet. There we go, there's one. And then we're gonna move back in to try to deal that damage. Ah, we got melted. 3 or 4 frozen packs on the ground and we just got melted. We have 1 minute 30 seconds left in this, so we have to kill this blue pack immediately when I spawn and hope and pray and oh god, we really have to hope that we get a good boss. This is going to come down to the wire yet again, like all of these high-level Greater Rift dungeon videos do for me. Okay, so buff, Dynamo, 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 and here we go. That's as much as I can do with that. Going in for stuns, going in for freezes. Dynamo going in back out. We're just kiting away, kiting away. I think we killed one. We need the other. Where's the other? Where's the other? Oh my god, are you kidding me right now? 50 seconds left in this place and we have not pushed the phase. Okay. Come on. Come on, Hydras. Do your job, Hydras. We have 45 seconds. Oh my god, please. Just please. Okay. 30 seconds. 35 seconds. I think I can keep him frozen. I think I can keep him frozen. We're just gonna keep trying to freeze him with Blizzard and deal as much damage as we possibly can. We have to mix up our spells, though, so we can deal that full damage. I need new Arcane Dynamo Hydras. We need to stun him again or he's gonna kill me. Here we go. New Hydra. Heal. New Hydra, freeze, and then we need to blink in. There we go. That's all I can do. Here we go. We're hoping for the boost. We're hoping for that damage burst. We have 5 seconds remaining. Not very much time left on this at all. And we are going to fall. We're going to fall just a little too short. Now, this was a 42. This was a 40. I gave up after the timer ended. This was a 42. I think if we had a 41... that would have been within my abilities to complete with my current setup. That being said, by clearing this, we are making our character stronger. We are making our character stronger. Damn, that sucks. That was really close. That was really, really, really close. Again. Alright, so what do we want to upgrade? We could go for Bane of the Powerful. We could go for Bane of the Trapped, or... Oh, I'm getting hit. You know, another option would be to go for some more defensive gems, because obviously that's my main problem going into this. Granted, this was a bit of a difficult situation because there was so much instant damage and so much slow damage mixed in as well with the drain from the ghosts. It was a difficult position to be in. I think I'm going to go for damage on my pets. So we're going to level up Enforcer. We have a 100% chance to level this up. And it looks like we are going to get this to 29. Which means that my pets, my Hydras, are going to be dealing 24% more damage. And honestly, that 24% more damage could have pushed us through this dungeon. But it was a solid attempt. I'm proud of that. We are going to close this off. What do we want to roll for? We probably want to roll for an ancient serpent thing. Of course, we're probably going to get it as a drop. So the likelihood of us actually getting it from a blood vendor, not too high. And we did use all of our shards that we just earned on those yellows. So that's going to be it for me today, guys. I'm going to try to break 40. That was a 42. I can push this keystone here probably up to a 41, I'm thinking. And then we can give that a go. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.